So I'm Fiona Davis. I'm from Australia, from Queensland, Australia. I work with the Department of Communities, Child Safety and Disability Services. I'm currently working in a forensic role, which was Sharon's old role, but my substantive role is a Principal Learning and Development Officer, tasked to broaden the horizons knowledge-wise around PBS across Queensland. And so that's, from the southeast corner where the majority of the population is, right up through to the north where a lot of the Indigenous populations are. In my opinion, a good PBS service is a service that is open and value-based, but also very supportive in their behaviour around supporting their support teams to do their jobs more efficiently. And that can be seen in a multitude of ways. Staff are mentored in situ with clients. They're allowed to be creative and innovative in solutions that are developed for the individual client, and an organisation that shows that they demonstrate that they support their staff well. Because for me, leadership of organisations is really important, and that's from the CEO all the way down to the direct support staff on the floor. So I would ask two questions, not just a single question, and those questions would be what the organisation feels that they do really well, and what the organisation feels that they do not so well. And I would ask those questions of multiple layers within the organisation, CEO, senior management and direct support staff. And then I would approach that we can build on the strengths of an organisation and minimise the perceived weaknesses of that organisation. I consider the strengths of using a PBS approach around a holistic approach to service provision for an individual client. So that could mean that a whole raft of assessment processes are conducted that will lead to a whole heap of improvements for the individual at multiple levels. I also believe a strength is around data-driven decision making. It takes away the impact of poor decisions, because your data's telling you what it needs to tell you, and it's guiding you on the interventions that you need to put in place. What would I would tell a support worker to go away and do some of their own research. Do a bit of Google research and try and find out what sort of information is out there. I'd then advise them to come back to me so that I can provide some appropriate and evidence-based information on positive behaviour support itself, and in particular discuss and engage with the individual person the difference between evidence-based stuff and something that they might have found on Google. I think good looks like supportive team within services. It's a really interesting question in that everyone has their own perception of what good would mean to them. I feel that staff teams that are able to be creative and innovative in solutions that they come up with that might be appropriate for an individual are the most effective teams that we can have. And I feel that staff teams that are supported to be creative and think outside the box come up with much better results than other teams do. With regards to measuring the difference in service provision after positive behaviour support has been implemented, I would look at what the organisation says they're doing through their vision and values and vision statements, those sorts of things, and I would look at it at multiple levels. And then I would go back and actually observe what their behaviour is in regard to supporting their direct support teams, to how their behaviour to support their teams interacts and links with their policies and procedures and that sort of thing. So there's a huge difference between organisations that say what they're going to do and those organisations that actually take the further step and do the doing. And that has a direct result to improve positive behaviour support services within an organisation by supporting the staff teams to do their jobs effectively.